What's up, guys? Welcome back to another video, and today we're going to be talking about a franchise that I know a lot of you guys want to see come back in some way and back to its former glory, and that is the Mario RPG franchise. There's been so many great games, from the Super Mario RPG game to the Mario and Luigi type of games to the old school thousand-year door type of games, and in this video we're going to go over what's most likely to be announced at the next Nintendo Direct or announced next when it comes to this style of game because of a number of factors that has happened. But before we get into any of that, please make sure you hit that like button, subscribe if you're someone new, and click that notification bell to get my videos first as we're dropping new live streams and new edited videos pretty much daily on the channel. So I appreciate the support, especially for yesterday's Donkey Kong video. If you haven't seen that, please make sure you go check it out. And let's go ahead and jump right into it here with the next Mario RPG game. So to give you guys a little bit of backstory with myself and the Mario RPG series, I absolutely loved Super Mario RPG back in the day. To me, even with Mario and Luigi and what Alpha Dream did back in the day, which we're going to go ahead and get to them in just a bit, and also with Thousand Year Door and Intelligent Systems and the original Paper Mario, I still feel that Super Mario RPG is the best one out of the lot. There's a lot of other cool features and gameplay things that each one of those Mario RPG franchises does, but with what Square Enix did, adding in the unique original characters like Mallow and Geno, and having that, I don't know, that feel to it that kind of predated what the Mario and Luigi games do, which there is a connection there from Square Enix to what happened with Alpha Dream. The producer of the Super Mario RPG game is pretty much the same across there. So there is a comparison with that, but I think that the influence of Square Enix was more in with Super Mario RPG more than the Mario and Luigi series. So I think that's why I love the Super Mario RPG series more than any one of the other ones. But we do have other types, right? I think that Super Mario RPG, obviously it went to the Mario and Luigi games, and then we also had the Paper Mario games as well, and they all do great things in their own respect. I'm not going to sit here and say that one of them is so much better than the other, because they're all very unique and different, especially across all the games. When it comes to the Mario and Luigi series, there's a lot more compared to the Super Mario RPG series, and then also the Paper Mario series, which really, I'm only counting 2 games at the end of the day with that. I'm not counting Color Splash and Sticker Star and Origami King, and I'm not counting all of that. All I'm counting really with the Mario RPG series with Paper Mario is the original Paper Mario and Paper Mario Thousand Year Door from Intelligent Systems, and when it was actually an RPG. But why am I talking about this now? Why are we bringing up all of this? Is something happening? Well, yes, I think something will happen here. I'm going with a little bit of a prediction on this one, because here's the thing. The reason why Nintendo originally stopped making Thousand Year Door and the Paper Mario series, the Paper Mario just in general, an RPG with its RPG roots, right? They stopped making it and went more towards a action adventure type of game with Super Paper Mario and some of the other Paper Mario games where there's not experience. It's just not fundamentally what people loved on the N64 and on the GameCube, is because they felt that it might be redundant with the Mario and Luigi series, which is the spiritual somewhat successor to the Super Mario RPG series from the Super Nintendo that Square Enix did, but with Alpha Dream, a third-party company that Nintendo would publish the games, where they would make the Mario games, because they made this really cool Japan-only RPG that Nintendo really loved, and they decided to say, hey, well, use the same type of style, but make it Mario and Luigi. But now that Alpha Dream is no longer here, and now that we're not going to be getting any Mario and Luigi RPG games, it seems like this definitely opens the door for one of these RPG series to come back in some type of way. So either Nintendo puts together a different style of team, or maybe there's former staffers from Alpha Dream that have joined Nintendo and they didn't say anything about it. Maybe something has happened, because Nintendo really did like Alpha Dream, and you know, people were asking maybe they should buy them. But I think that if those people wanted to work at Nintendo, they could have applied and worked there, and maybe they put together something for a brand new Mario RPG game, a Mario and Luigi game, or maybe just even, that everybody kind of gets back together, the band gets back together, and we see a Super Mario RPG. I think that would probably be the best thing. If Square Enix were to help out, along with maybe some former Alpha Dream staffers that have joined up, we don't know about anything, I'm speculating here, or maybe even Nintendo's team with the new people that they've been hiring, they say, hey, we can make an RPG like that, and they kind of all come together and make something new. That would be the best option available. That would be something that would be really cool, and I would love to see that happen because we still need a Mario RPG game on a console. We haven't had a big time Mario RPG on a console since the GameCube. The Paper Mario games just aren't it. Like Origami King, it's a cool game. It's got great writing. It's got great graphics. It's got a lot of the stuff that we like about the series, but it's still just missing that it thing that the original Paper Mario had, and that Paper Mario on the GameCube, Thousand Year Door had, and the Mario and Luigi games. It's even missing some of that flair with the experience and everything. And of course, the original Super Mario RPG, which I think is just drastically better, even still to this day, that you can go play on your Wii or your Wii U, or also on the Super Nintendo Classic. You can go play it right now and be like, okay, yeah, that's pretty good. So I still think that it's missing that. Nintendo is missing that. They haven't had that on a console in a very long time because Color Splash wasn't that. So I think that now's the time. Now that Alpha Dream is no longer around and maybe Nintendo's kind of bullish on the Mario and Luigi series, there's still the Paper Mario series that you can go back to. There's still the Super Mario RPG that you can go back to. Like, that would be a great thing, and it would be a good stopgap, I guess, right? Between, you know, the next big Mario game. Now, I know that there are some people that are going to say, well, wait a minute, they kind of have that already. And that is Mario plus Rabbids Sparks of Hopes, or Mario plus Rabbids Kingdom Battle. And while that can be looked at it in some type of way, that's a different style of hybrid, you know, type of game. It's not the Mario RPG series. It doesn't have like that Japanese style gameplay that I would like to see in a Mario RPG that we saw before, like with Thousand Year Door, and also with Paper Mario and with Super Mario RPG. And while it's got some humor, you can tell that it's just not as good. Like, it's just not quite as good as what we saw with Thousand Year Door and what we've got before when it comes to some of the writing and some of the other things. It's more stoic. It's more, oh, well, it's gonna look silly, right? Oh, look at these Rabbids, they look dumb, they're dressing up. It's more goofy Western humor than it is intelligent writing and very good scripting with it, because that's what Paper Mario is known for. That's still retained to this point, is the really good writing. Especially Origami King has a great setup and plot and everything, and the original Thousand Year Door, like, the writing's just so good and everything, and I don't think that the Mario plus Rabbids series lives up to that. So it's something separate. It's not quite the same thing. So I don't think one replaces the other, but that's my hope for the series going forward. And I hope that we get something. Maybe at E3, we see a new Mario RPG. Maybe we see something when it comes down to this series, because I think it's time to get something from that for a console, because we haven't had it in quite some time. So what are your thoughts on a potential new Mario RPG game for the Nintendo Switch? Let me know your thoughts in the comment section below. All right, now moving on to the next topic here. We've got a game that actually looked really cool that launched a little bit ago on the Xbox platforms and PC, and now it's coming over to PlayStation and the Nintendo Switch, and that is Nobody Saves the World. This is from a developer that a lot of Nintendo fans should know about here, Drinkbox Studios. Guacamelee fame, really good game. They're back with this action RPG that's kind of crazy and out of nowhere. So Drinkbox Studios will release action RPG Nobody Saves the World for the PS5, PS4, and Nintendo Switch on April 14th, one day after my birthday, for $24.99, the developer announced. It will launch alongside a local cooperative play update for all available platforms. Good stuff there. Nobody Saves the World first launched for the Xbox Series, Xbox One, and PC via Steam on January 18th. So it was a little bit of a delay there, but nothing too crazy. So what makes this game good? What's this game all about? Well, from the developers of Guacamelee 1 and 2 comes Nobody Saves the World, a new twist on action RPGs in which you play many different character forms, each with their own unique gameplay mechanics. The Calamity's power is growing, and nobody can save the world now. Good thing you are nobody. Complete quests to discover and swap between many varied and distinct forms, mix and match abilities in unique and interesting ways to find and complete even more difficult quests and unlock more powerful forms. Explore a vast overworld, clearing procedurally generated dungeons in an effort to beat back the calamity and save the world. So here are some of the key features of this game, because this game has a lot of features. Questing, not grinding. Player progression and new abilities are obtained exclusively by completing quests, not by defeating monsters. Quests range from complete a dungeon to poison baddies to cheer up a fellow rabbit lover. I do like that, how they say, hey, look, you do more quests, you actually do these actual objectives, you get your experience. So that's a good way of getting it done. Quests unlock new forms. Level up and unlock new forms by completing quests. Each new form has specific strengths and weaknesses and new abilities to experiment with. Combine abilities. Customize your forms by equipping abilities from other forms. Mix and match abilities in fun and unexpected ways. Evolving dungeons. As you become stronger, procedurally generated dungeons will increase in difficulty and complexity to keep you on your toes. I like that. An incredible soundtrack. Nobody Saves the World features an original soundtrack by acclaimed sword and sorcery composer Jim Guthrie. And I think I maybe said that right. Maybe I didn't. It's got a lot of good scores, guys. We got 9 out of 10 from GameSpot, 9.5 out of 10, 9 out of 10, 8.5 from Destructoid, Shack News, 9 out of 10, Well Played, 9 out of 10, Game Informer, 8.25 out of 10, Digital Chumps, 9 out of 10, 5 out of 5 from G4 TV. Okay, well, still, it's got a lot of good scores from lots of different places, so I think it's probably going to be a really good game, and I'll probably check it out on the Nintendo Switch. This is the type of game that I like to play kind of lying down in bed, whatever the case is, blah, 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 so it looks good. Looks really good. Looking forward to checking it out on PlayStation and the Nintendo Switch. I'm not sure if there's a physical edition that will be available. I hope that will become available at some point. I'd like to grab a physical edition of the game, even if I have to buy the digital version first just to play it. But what are your thoughts on this, guys? We have Nobody Saves the World with all these nobodies. Are you planning on picking this up? Does it look fun? Let me know your thoughts in the comment section below. All right, and moving on to the next topic here. We have a monumental, groundbreaking, brand new Nintendo Switch update. No, I'm joking on the groundbreaking and monumental, but we do have a new Nintendo Switch update, which should be expected because we just had a big update, so there's always going to be like that trailing little update. But I did want to go over this just because you might need it, because it might solve whatever issues, if you do have some issues with the update that just released, the Switch version 14.0.0. So Nintendo has just released a new firmware update for the Nintendo Switch, 14.1.0. Now, a number of the other updates Nintendo does focus on stability. Stability is the most important thing ever. Now, in this case, it's actually a bit different. Users will now find a new Platinum Points notification setting in which they can be notified about unclaimed points as part of the My Nintendo Rewards program. The official patch notes for the Nintendo Switch firmware update version 14.1.0 are as follows. Platinum Point notification settings has been added under notifications in system settings. Unclaimed Platinum Points earned from completing Nintendo Switch Online missions on your Nintendo Switch system will generate notifications. Nintendo Switch Online missions and rewards are not available in some countries and regions. Setting these notifications to off will hide the notifications sent when there are unclaimed Platinum Points. It hasn't been too long since the last Nintendo Switch update back on March 21st, where there was version 14.0.0, which was made available, and it was the major update of groups being available, which is like a new take on folders. Isn't quite exactly folders because those could go on the main page. The groups do not. They go on the all software page, and then you can group them that way. And then there's of course some other updates that they've added as well. So yeah, it looks like things are kind of moving along just a bit here when it comes to the Nintendo Switch updating and getting some more features into the system. And I think that this is a slow play at this point. I think that making these firmwares and these OSs and starting from scratch is intimidating, and obviously it looks bad at the end of the day, right? When you go back and look at some of the features that has happened before with previous systems, but I think that Nintendo is building off of this to be their future OS. So they don't have to make new ones every single generation, because that's essentially what they would do. They would just make essentially a brand new OS with each system. It was very different. And it was bad. It was bad overall for the gamers, because sometimes there'd be some features that weren't available and they are available, and then this and that, it was mix and match. But I think now at this point, with what they're going with, they're going to stick with this Switch OS and mold it and build it to how they want to build it. That's why it's been very slow getting new features added in, and the same reason why like the PS5, for example, is missing some features the PS4 had, because they actually made a brand new OS. Microsoft, for example, which is cool for the Microsoft owners, myself included, where they just use the same thing and all the features carry over, all your games carry over, everything just carries over because it's the same exact thing. I think that's what Nintendo wants going forward in the future, but they're gonna have to build from ground zero here. But they're adding slowly but surely. But what are your thoughts on this update here when it comes to Nintendo Switch and some of the other stuff that we talked about when it comes to Super Mario RPG and Nobody Saves the World? I'd love to hear your thoughts in the comment section below. All right, guys, that wraps it up for this video here. Thank you so much for watching. I do appreciate it. Please make sure you hit that like button, subscribe if you're someone new, click that notification bell, and we will see you for the next video. Peace.